Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $10,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 54-year-old female. Now, first thing I recommend is going directly to our website at funeralfunds.com. We've got these free quotas on just about every page. All you need to do is select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount. Put your birthday in here, fill out the rest of the info. It will take you to a page that's going to show you all the best insurance companies with all the lowest rates that you may qualify for based off your age, gender, and the state you live in. It's really terrific. It can save you a lot of shopping time. You can also call us at 888-862-9456. One of our licensed agents can do all that for you as well. Now, one of the first things we always recommend to a 54-year-old female when looking for $10,000 worth of insurance is determining if $10,000 is even going to be appropriate for her final expense needs. Now, final expense needs would typically be either a cremation or a burial. Now, let's tackle cremation first. Right now, the average cost of a cremation in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn, nothing fancy. If you're going to have some sort of a ceremony like a remembrance of life or celebration of life ceremony in addition to the cremation, it's probably going to be $3,500 to $4,500. Now, as far as how much insurance you need, it's different for each of those. So for that cremation where you're going to come home in the cardboard box or an urn, we would typically recommend around $5,000 to $7,000 worth of coverage. Now, some people would say, well, Randy, you said the cremation is going to be $2,000, but we're looking at $5,000. How come? How come $5,000 worth of coverage? The reason is our 54-year-old female probably wants to make it to 64 and 74 and probably 84. And we know that pricing will go up over time due to inflation. That always happens. So what we actually want to do is get a little extra coverage locked in at the lowest rate at your current age right now. And that inflation proofs your plan in the coming years. And one good thing about doing that, and not only inflation proves it in the coming years, but God forbid you died sooner than anybody thought, it provides a little bit more money up front on the front end, just in case there were some other expenses like credit card bills or medical bills or something that you would have paid off if you'd lived longer. So it's kind of nice, has the back end of the front end benefits too. Now, if you're going to have that cremation with the ceremony, we would typically recommend probably around $7,000 to $10,000. Same thing, we want to inflation proof it on the back end, but if you died sooner than anybody thought, there's some extra money on the front side to provide money to your family to pay those things off as well too. Now, for a burial, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. It's hard to imagine that you could go really anywhere in the United States and not hand them a $10,000 check and they wouldn't get something done. Just if they did say no, then you could just walk out the door, walk 2 blocks down to their competition, and I'm sure they would take that $10,000 check too. But just understand, in this day and age, $10,000 is not going to be anything fancy. It's going to be kind of just get the job done, but no fanciness. It's going to be kind of minimal. So, but as far as looking for $10,000, yeah, that would work. It just the only challenge is the plan is not inflation proof, right? So you're 54, you want to make it 64, 74. So most of the 54-year-old females we help would be looking between like $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000 on average. Some people more, some people less, depending on their needs. But $10,000 if you're on a fixed or limited income and that's all you can afford, get that. That takes care of the most immediate needs if something happened in the near term. But if you want inflation proof your plan, look at that $15,000 to $20,000, and obviously the $15,000 inflation proofs a shorter period than the $20,000 would. But just keep in mind, if you need to start small, we can always help you add more coverage later. Now, some people would say that, hey, I want to get some money to my kids, so I want like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and a lot of times, the people we help are on a fixed or limited income, and that just gets a little bit beyond their means. And sometimes they'll say, well, if I can't do $50,000, I'm not going to do anything at all. And we just kind of have to counsel them a little bit and say, hey, you actually approached this in the first place because you didn't want the kids to have to pay your final expenses, So why don't we take care of that first? Get your final expenses done first. And then if you want, we can always add a separate policy for the kids later. And that keeps things separated. And it makes sure that your final expense plan will always be ready and available and there for the kids. So one thing we always recommend doing is getting first day coverage or benefits. We do not recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods at all. I'll talk about those in a minute here, but what first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your policy were approved and went in force today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. It's going to be the best coverage. It's also going to be the lowest pricing. Now, some people would say, you're right, Randy, I do want that first day coverage, but I've got some health issues and I know those plans ask health questions and I'm kind of worried I may not qualify, to which we always say, hey, that's our problem, not your problem, at least from an insurance standpoint. And the reason we say that is we work with so many different insurance companies that all ask different health questions and they all have different underwriting. And right now we're getting around 90 to 95% approvals for either first day coverage or benefits. So we're terrific at what we do. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get you that first day coverage is if you waited too long and you had some significant health issues going on, like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to live less than 12 months. Maybe you had dementia or you're on dialysis or you're in a hospital or in a nursing home. If it were something like that, we'd typically refer you out to a different insurance company. Now, what seems to happen on a weekly basis too is somebody will call up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week. They didn't have insurance. We don't have any money. Their body's down at the funeral home. The funeral home director's not going to do anything till we get a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so that we can get the money to pay for everything. And we have to let them know that there is no insurance company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on somebody who's already dead. You actually have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. And it's really sad that the family member passed away, but it's doubly sad that they didn't care enough about their family to get this insurance. And now their family's struggling with this. And they knew they were going to die someday. They'd probably looked at this insurance. They probably thought about getting it. And they just said, hey, I'll get it someday. And then some days led to other some days. And then one day they just went and died and they didn't have this insurance. And now their family members and loved ones are going to have to pay for this. And really, in most cases, they're going to have to put it on a credit card and pay 26% interest. And they'll be paying on this years and years and years. So don't do that to your family. Don't leave that terrible legacy behind. This insurance is affordable. You can always start small. We can always add more coverage later. But don't be that person who leaves that terrible legacy behind. Now, one thing we don't recommend is the plans with 2-year waiting periods. Now, Colonial Penn, they're fairly well known out there. I think it's probably because they run those $9.95 commercials like on TV. It seems like every 7 minutes you got one of those things on the commercial or on the TV. And you may not know this, but their $9.95 plan, that is one of those 2-year waiting period plans. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, you probably didn't know that, did you? No. And there's other companies out there that offer those 2-year waiting period plans. Mutual of Omaha's got your United of Omaha product, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, there's so many other different companies out there that the only thing they offer is 2-year waiting periods. And some of these companies have done an amazing job at convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're ever going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Yeah. So our 54-year-old female, probably just got done watching one of those Colonial Penn commercials. And, she's probably thinking, you know what? I'm 54. I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. By golly, I may even get $50,000 for $9.95 because that commercial is so slickly produced. I'm confident I'm going to do very well. And then then our 54-year-old female gets on the phone with Colonial Penn with one of their agents or gets on their website like we've done for you here and sees that one unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay out $1,802. Now, $1,802 is probably enough to get a cremation done in most parts of the United States. Except for one thing, Colonial Penn has a 2-year waiting period. It's not going to pay out anything in the first 2 years. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever get a plan that doesn't pay out in the first 2 years when you can qualify for first aid coverage? So yeah, we don't recommend that. Now, there's some people that say that, these companies that offer, these super low teaser rates, right? They say that, they probably don't even want to sell you that plan because it's such minuscule coverage. So they probably don't want to even sell you that. What they really want to do is get your information, get you in their marketing funnel, advertise to you, call you up, and then actually sell you more insurance, which is much more profitable for them. So, we would never say anything like that about Colonial Penn, but some people believe that. And I guess you can determine that for yourself based off the fact that $9.95 is only going to get you around $1,800 worth of insurance. So this video, we're trying to get 10,000. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see. I don't know. Is that 5 units, 6 units? You got to guess, because Colonial Penn, you can't buy $10,000 on the nose because they've got this goofy $9.95. You always end up with these wackadoodle numbers like $1,802, right? Yeesh. Okay. Let's do 6, 5 units, 9,010, and 6 units is going to be, 10,812. So I guess we'll just go with 6 units because we want at least 10,000. But that's going to be like, $60 pretty much, right? Roundabout $60. So let's do this. Let's go and see what first day coverage would be with a company. And I got a feeling, our funeral funds team is going to save you money. Here we go. So we've got 10,000 here for coverage. We've got a female, and then we've got age 54 right here. Here we go. Let's hit the quote button. Boom. Let's go. But yeah, let's take a look again. 10,000, roughly $60. And here we go. 10,000. Yep. Everything's the same. Look at this. About $26. Level coverage. That means first day coverage. That's exactly what you want. Yeah. But yeah, $25. So would you rather have first day coverage, $10,000 worth of coverage, and pay $25.62, or would you rather get right around 10,000 and pay like $60? And what we routinely see is that Colonial Penn is generally right around 200% higher than our lowest price first day coverage companies. Why would you ever overpay? Please don't overpay. Don't do that. I mean, look at this. It's about $35 more a month for Colonial Penn versus first day coverage. Why would you ever overpay $35 a month? And Colonial Penn will make you overpay that $35 a month for the rest of your life and sock you with a 2-year waiting period. So think about that. If you overpay $35 a month, so $35 a month times 12 months is you'd overpay around $420 every year. And if our 54-year-old female lived to age 64, 10 years, you'll have overpaid right around $4,200 more than just going with our first day coverage plan on a $10,000 policy. So, I tell you what, we recommend you never overpay an insurance company. Holy cow, never do that. So why would you ever do that and sign up from the very first day, knowing that you're going to hand an insurance company $4,200 roughly more than you should have? We recommend you keep that in your own bank account rather than letting an insurance company put that in their bank account. Yeah, just be a smart consumer. If you're not a smart consumer, that's understandable. Let us just help you be a smart consumer and help you get qualified for some of these better rates. Let's look at some other companies here too. Let's go down. You'll be able to see all these different companies here. Like here's one. Lumico, they're level, first day coverage, but they're like $10 more a month. And you go, it's not that bad. It's only $10 more a month. That's $120 a year. After 10 years, you'll have overpaid $1,200. You wouldn't give away $1,200 today just to any company with no benefit, right? So, why on earth would you do that? So we just recommend you not give an insurance company an extra $1,200 away for no reason at all. Just keep that money in your own bank account. Don't put it in Lumico's bank account. No. Yikes. Let's look at some other companies here. So, Lincoln Heritage. Here's one. They're a fine company, I guess, but ouch. Look at their pricing. Yikes. level coverage first day. But yeah, look at their pricing. So they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly, shop 2 or 3 different funeral homes to make sure you get the lowest pricing, maybe do a couple other things, but they charge for that. It's not free. They charge heftily for that. So this is roughly $39 versus 26. Lincoln Heritage is about $13 more a month, and you may go, well, $13 not a big deal for what they do. Well, the thing is $13 a month times 12 months. You'd overpay an extra $156 a year. After 10 years, you have overpaid roughly right around $1,560. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying an insurance company right around $1,560 to call 2 or 3 funeral homes, maybe do a couple other things that maybe only takes an hour or so to do? A lot of people would say, that's a pretty good hefty payday for an insurance company, making right around $1,560 an hour. So, we just don't, we recommend you don't overspend. Here's what we do. We actually recommend you let us help you get approved for this 2562. And then what we offer is a free funeral and estate planning guide. You just download that off our website, you print it out, and then once it's printed out, you just open it up and you fill it out and complete it. And then you keep it with your insurance policy. And then that way, when you pass away, your family members go to that one place and they're going to see that you have the insurance policy, you protected them financially, but they're also going to see that you protected them emotionally with the funeral and then the estate planning guide. And what a wonderful thing to do for your family. All they need to do is open that estate and funeral planning guide and just start reading, and they'll know exactly what you wanted done. They'll exactly know how to do it, and they will know that that you loved and protected them enough to take care of that, but you also provided them financially with the insurance policy to do everything you wrote in the funeral and estate planning guide. And they will know that you not only loved and protected them in life, but you actually loved and protected them that one last time in death, exactly at a time when they would need you the most, but you wouldn't be there. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. We can help you with that legacy. Go to funeralfunds.com. We've got a special quote for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And there we can get you access to the best companies with the lowest rates. It's really terrific. Do take advantage of that. You can call us directly at 888-862-9456. One of our licensed agents can help you out with just about anything you desire. But yeah, whether you've got an existing policy and you want us to price shop it for you to make sure you got the best pricing, or you want to add coverage to that, we can help you out with that. If you're just looking at getting brand new coverage, or you just have some questions, or you want to know what's most appropriate for you, we can help you out with that. But, we look forward to that day when we can help you get the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with that at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.